It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Good morning. Couple of things from yesterday that were just heartbreaking. Number one was the impact statements, because the deal that was done that Bryan Kohberger will be in prison for the rest of his life with no chance of getting out. But the victim impact statements, man, just absolutely heartbreaking to watch.
They really were. Watching that throughout the morning yesterday, a lot of people were, and I think part of the media was wondering if there would be a statement by Kohberger in the direction of basically why, his motives or anything like that. And someone made a good point in some of the analysis that I saw, and it's like, well, and the judge ultimately made this point right before he announced the sentencing officially, and it is that you can't believe of Bryan Kohberger, it serves no one to give him a moment of grandstanding or whatever. There's no telling what he would say. While he had a right to make the statement, he said, "I respectfully decline." And it was, so there was a lot of media saying, well, we hope to learn more about this. But if you're looking to learn more about it from Bryan Kohberger, I think the judge made a great point, and the analyst that I saw made a great point, and that is, you can't trust anything coming from him. You might learn more, and some of the documents were released by the police. There might be more to learn. I think a society wants to learn more about how something like this happens, because we try and wrap our brain around it. And you think about the little college community of Moscow, Idaho. It's a beautiful, small town. And as I'm listening to these impact statements and listening to loved ones talk about those who were murdered, and then they were showing also pictures during this coverage of those who were murdered. And you think to yourself, here are these young people. And probably the last thing you would suspect in a tiny town like Moscow, Idaho, is that something like this could happen. They were living their life like a lot of college kids did. And then something like this happens, and we learn about, as a society, we want to learn about the evil in our society. But I don't think there was anything to learn from Bryan Kohberger himself. I think investigators and the police and everyone involved there, and also something to learn about the victims themselves, and that's part of the reason for the impact statements. Not necessarily for the society to learn, but for the court to hear it, and also for the murderer to hear it. They have a right to address him, and I think, but I think because you could watch it, because the public could watch it, you're learning a little bit more. Not that it would ever get us to a point of knowing what these families are going through. You can't put your mind there. I can't possibly imagine how brutal this is for them, but maybe a little bit better understanding and appreciation, and a reminder of something that happened, this November. It will be 3 years ago, and it was brutal to watch.
I understand where the judge was coming from. I remember going, with Ted Bundy, and everybody was trying to figure out, and nobody ever figured out why he did it. He was talking all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one of his last interviews, he said he did it because of porn.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, nobody bought that.
Right.
I never forget. It was like, I did it because of
any
pornography.
chance to talk to a camera.
Yeah.
That was Ted Bundy.
And so I understand the judge saying it. It's heartbreaking. I mean, the reason they do that is because you can't get the voice of the victims.
Mm-hmm.
If the victims were injured, you could.
Mm-hmm.
The only place, the closest you can get to the voice that could represent the victims of these horrible murders is the family. And
yeah, that's why they have it.
Right. And one of them that spoke was Kaylee Goncalves' sister, Olivia, and here's what she had to say. This is just part of it, by the way. And by the way, there was cursing, and there was anger,
mm-hmm.
and
mm-hmm.
as you would be, because I don't know, I'm watching it. I couldn't process my own thoughts, because you try to put yourself, number one, you try to put yourself in that moment of the victim and the terror of that point. And then the next thing you think of is the family, and it's 3 years, and you might learn to live with it, but you never get over anything like that. And that has to be a constant thought in your mind.
Olivia Goncalves, when she was done, received applause inside that room.
Here's part of what she had to say.
Lurking in the shadows made you feel powerful because no one ever paid you any attention in the light. You thought you were exceptional, all because of a grade on a paper. You thought you were elite because your online IQ test from 2010 told you so. All of that effort just to seem important. It's desperate. There is a name for your condition, though. Your inflated ego just didn't allow you to see it. Wannabe. You act like no one could ever understand your mind, but the truth is you're basic. You're a textbook case of insecurity disguised as control. Your patterns are predictable. Your motives are shallow. You are not profound. You're pathetic. You aren't special or deep, not mysterious or exceptional. Don't ever get it twisted again. No one is scared of you today. No one is intimidated by you. No one is impressed by you. No one thinks that you are important. You orchestrated this like you thought you were God. Now look at you, begging a courtroom for scraps. You spent months preparing, and still all it took was my sister in a sheath. You work so hard to seem dangerous, but real control doesn't have to prove itself.
There it is, part of her impact statement yesterday. The other thing was, you saw the reports over the last 48 hours about, Bruce Willis just, doesn't.
Yeah.
They don't believe he remembers even having a career in acting anymore.
Right.
And you just saw that. And, dealing with dementia. By the way, just an update on my dad. He was great over the weekend. The best he has been in 6 months. But, yesterday, not good. And it's when you hear stuff like that, and thanks for all the response I've gotten whenever I've talked about my dad and his his situation right there, because I know I get the stories from other people and what they're going through, and it's good to hear that. It's good, and because I think it's something that affects almost everybody.
Yeah,
probably almost everybody has that. Somebody in their life will be affected by some kind of dementia, and it is such a unique disease that takes away. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I said, I think I sound crude at times when I say, I want to be there as much as possible to get what's left of my father's brain. But in reality, that's what you're doing. I mean, because the brain represents the heart, the soul, everything, the spirit of that person. And you want, and I got a lot of it this past weekend, which was wonderful. I mean, he was just great this weekend. And then yesterday, it's like, it's not a good day. Can't really talk to him. So, I heard about Bruce Willis. It's like you all feel it. And it's such a terrible disease. It really
Well,
is. It's
as we age and when we get into what they call our golden years, everything is about your life experience, which is based on your memories, but also, those joys that you've had throughout the years, the lessons that you've learned, and maybe sharing those lessons with others. But all of it is based on someone's memory, and if that is gone, and millions of us have witnessed it, then the person doesn't know us, but then we start to not know them or who they are or what they think, or, if they're connecting with us, if they recognize us. If you've ever had that moment where you walk up with a family member and they look at you like you're a complete stranger, and you realize that's what they're thinking in that moment, that you are. It's brutal. It's really tough because family is everything. And you don't want them to suffer. And sometimes with dementia comes frustration, anger, and it comes from, again, the brain not operating properly, not knowing.
And that's when that's one of the questions I think anybody who has a relative or friend that has dementia, are they suffering?
Yeah.
A lot of times you don't know.
Right.
You don't know. There's so many, when somebody you love has dementia, it's like, I don't know. I don't know if they're, I don't know if they're suffering. The good thing is sometimes when they are suffering, when they are, or hurting or confused or whatever, they forget about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're okay 10 minutes later, don't even remember the incident. Those are the interesting things of when, the people that you love are, going after you as if you're their worst enemy, trying to kill them.
Mm.
And 10 minutes later, they're thanking you for being such a wonderful human being, for being around them. And it's tough. It's tough on people to handle that. Thank goodness my father has a great support group. And thank goodness, when my mom passed 5 years ago, and then my dad, slowly declining over these years, has really brought the siblings together.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
yeah.
I've learned in life that out of tragedy, good can come from it.
Mm-hmm.
And, to see that in my particular case is with my siblings is wonderful. But it's still, when you see the Bruce Willis stuff, when I saw the last, 36 hours or so, you relate to it when you've got somebody who's going through it.
Yeah, it's admirable to watch what Demi Moore and the rest of his family, what his kids are doing and rallying around him to provide that care. That's really the primary care team at first, and sometimes it requires the primary care team becomes the professional care team, and they're in a facility, but in the cases where the family members rally around and that is getting the job done, that's exactly what happens. Everybody comes together.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to happen.
Yeah, you're right.
There has to be that common goal. And it's, watching it happen with, I'm constantly going through streaming platforms, and you'll see a thumbnail for a Bruce Willis movie or something come up.
Oh, yeah.
It
happens all the time, and when I see it, I'm just like, oh, wow, you're just heartbroken watching it.
Yeah.
Because one thing he was on screen, his characters, so many of them were about grasping what life, what life is about, or trying to survive and wanting to live really bad.
Yeah. Well, quick thinking, quick-witted, and it's how we think of him as an actor, as a person, and then knowing that he's going through this and his family's going through this has been
very sad.
Very sad.
Yeah. We're always thinking and praying for anybody who,
For all the millions of families going through it, yes.
Yeah, we're always
we pray for you.
Yeah, we're sensitive to it, believe me.
We're going through it too, and we just pray that you have the strength and everything that you need to get through it.
866-90 Red Eye.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by Howes Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
Innovations to better detect microbes in irrigation surface water, such as irrigation ponds and lakes, and in turn prevent contaminants from causing foodborne illness in crops. That is the work conducted by USDA researcher Yakov Pachevsky and colleagues, incorporating artificial intelligence.
Remote sensing and proximal sensing, including artificial intelligence to process results of measurements.
Sensors emitting light waves both in water sources and through aerial drones collect data. AI crunching this data creates maps that break down contaminants at microbial levels. Pachevsky says while technology provides broader sources and breakdowns of information, cooperation of field-level farmers were also essential in developing detection methods that are more effective, cost-efficient, and quicker, with broader use and application of this tech approaching. I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
Get in touch with Red Eye Radio, toll free at 866-90 Red Eye.
We are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome and good morning. Okay, we got some polls out there to hit with you on.
All right.
Fox News poll on the approval of the Supreme Court is at a 5-year high after everything, all the negative publicity of the Supreme Court.
Wow.
After a busy end of the 24-25 term, voters have a more positive view of the Supreme Court. In fact, the High Court currently holds its highest approval rating since 2020. The latest Fox News poll finds 47% of voters approve of the job SCOTUS is doing, a 9-point jump in the last year.
All right.
When a record low 38% approved. So everything the Supreme Court has done that has mostly favored what the Trump administration wants and is more of a constructionist founding fathers view has skyrocketed the approval of the Supreme Court. Dare I say it? Dare I say it?
What?
We may not be doomed.
Now we're still doomed. It's just the doomed clock is pushed back a minute.
The increase in approval is widespread, but especially among independents, it's up 16 points. Women, 15 points.
All right.
Republicans, 14 points. This is mind-boggling. It's up with independents, 16 points. Women, 15 points. Republicans, 14 points. And voters under the age of 30, 12 points. Over the past decade, public confidence in our major institutions has declined, said Republican pollster Darren Shaw, who helps conduct the Fox News survey with Democrat Chris Anderson. The court's rebound could reflect its attempts to steer a middle course on politically polarizing questions or indicate an uptick in positive attitudes toward our more established institutions. I don't think so. I don't think you could look at the Supreme Court the last year and say they're riding the middle. Could you?
No, I don't think so.
You're doing the poll. Observe better. We are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Download our Red Eye Radio app today, and you can listen when and where you choose. Okay, more polling out there. The Democratic Party's attempt to resist President Donald Trump is backfiring. The latest tip poll shows a plurality of American adults now believe the one-time party of the center has gone too far to the left. Voters who responded to the national poll, taken from June 25th to June 27th, were asked the following question: do you think the Democratic Party has become too radical in its views and policies? A strong plurality, 45% of all respondents said yes, 36% said no, another 18% said, I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. I'm a gamer. So there you go, as would be expected. The question got predictable differences from Democrats, Republicans, and independent and third-party voters. Among Democrats, for instance, 64% answered no. And I would say to them, well, then, because there's no way. I can't find anybody that can be cross-examined on identity politics, the radical transgender movement, the border, inflation. None of them will even ever come close to wanting their opinions cross-examined.
No.
None of them.
Nope.
And as we pointed out, there's no way you can defend identity politics. That's the modern racism that's been institutionalized by the Democratic Party. They judge people by groups and not individuals. What group you in? We look at groups. We don't look at individuals. You're a racist. The radical transgender movement, as misogynist as a movement that I can see greater than Al Bundy.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anybody else.
True.
And by the way, I was seeing all over the place that Married with Children is coming back. That is false. I've noticed on Facebook a lot of promotion of TV shows coming back. Saw another one that Magnum is coming back. They're all false. And didn't
Magnum PI come back at one point? Wasn't there somebody else in that role, and it was like it didn't go anywhere?
Oh no, it was on for it was on for a while.
Yeah.
I've actually watched a few episodes of it. I had said way back when it first came out years ago, I said, I'm not going to watch it. Higgins is a woman. I've watched it a couple of times. I've seen a few. It's great. It really is. It's they did a real good job on it. And I thought I would never. No, this is what's on Facebook is that it's going to be Tom Selleck.
Oh, okay.
Doing Magnum PI.
Yeah.
Coming back. And there's like a plot and a theme. And it's all complete BS.
No, there are people that use AI to build trailers of movies that are never going to happen.
Yeah.
And they're trailers. It looks like, this is definitely going to happen.
And then the whole Married with Children, there's this one, I wish I could find it. I've got too many other windows open, but I'd have to go search for it again on Facebook yesterday. And it was like I came across two of them, and it's the same, the same page doing it. And I'm like, wow, Magnum with Tom Selleck is coming back. I start reading it, and I went, no, it's not. Do a quick search. It's like, no, there's no Magnum coming back. There's none.
Yeah.
Tom Selleck isn't going to be doing a new Magnum. And it's like it's going to be a series, and it's like, no, it isn't. And then I saw later on the Married with Children. And I knew they had talked about a couple of years ago about doing an animated version, but with Christine Applegate, I don't think she's probably capable of doing any type of physicality in a show with her MS that she has, in it. But it was completely false. They had talked about an animated one, but that fell through. But this was saying that it's going to reunite all the characters, for an actual, and it was like, it's like Kelly and Bud still aren't married, and Al decides to take them all on a vacation. Like, that's a script from the old one.
Yeah.
And I went, and people are buying into it. And finally, you started seeing people going, this is completely false, people. You're a bunch of suckers for falling for it. None of this is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you see it, most the plurality of Democrats, plurality in this particular poll call the Democrats too radical. 64% of Democrats said no. 22% said yes. Democrats. They know they are. Can't justify this. So, yeah. And we said it last week, and we've always said it. We've always said it when anytime we've been accused of being radical or you guys are right-wing. And so you can throw that label. Yeah, we're more right than left. Yeah, very more right than left. But tell us what position we hold that's radical. Well, and nobody's been ever, since I've been a talk show host, has never been able to tell me what position I hold is radical.
And
because they're not.
There's a difference, too, because I don't consider myself to be a radical, but on the left, there are some that take pride in being a radical. So I'd have to get into the qualifiers on this poll in terms of the respondents. Keep in mind, you had 9 members of Congress, 8 of whom wouldn't give their names, and to Axios, who said our constituents basically want us to be more radical. We want to see blood. We're out for blood. These people are over the top radical. So if they say the party is radical, if they say the Democrats, if someone responds to a pollster and says, I'm a Democrat, and yes, I believe the party is more radical, I don't know that they necessarily believe that's a bad thing. I'd have to break down the questions even further.
Now, overall, voters prefer that congressional Democrats work with Trump rather than simply opposing his agenda. I don't know.
Do they really?
This is where I question the accuracy of this poll. 46% answered work with Trump. 19% said resist Trump. A sizable 26% said depends on the issue. Only 9% said, I don't know. Summed up, that means an overwhelming 72% would like to see Democrats cooperate with Trump, at least on an issue-by-issue basis. Just 19% would resist all Trumpian initiatives.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're done.
That guttural sound there.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't buy that.
Once again, the partisan breakdown is somewhat predictable, though not overwhelming. Among Democrats, those who want to work with Trump, plus those who want to work with him depending on the issue, form a significant 56% majority. Oh, they're saying that's Democrats?
You're right, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was, they said voters. I thought it was all voters. They're saying this is even more bizarre. I thought they meant all voters. I don't buy it at all.
Yeah.
They're saying Democrats, those who want to work with Trump, 19%, plus those who want to work with him depending on the issue, 37% form a significant 56% majority, exceeding the still substantial share of Democrats who prefer to resist Trump on all things, 38%. I don't buy that at all.
Nope.
No way.
Nope.
So outright, Trump rejectionism is a minority, even within the Democratic Party. Republicans should hope that is true.
Yeah.
I just don't buy it.
Well, I mean, look, is there something I don't believe it. But then you look back to the greatest political comeback in American history in November of 24. And the question has to be asked, is the left over and over continuing to damage themselves by continuing to go after him? When many people just say, you know what? You should work with the guy. I don't believe that's the case. I'm not hearing that anywhere.
No, I don't hear that anywhere. Nowhere.
I don't hear that anywhere.
No.
But I would just have to get into the pollster's methodology here and ask a bunch of questions.
So you ready for this one? Here we go. Now, they asked the question to everybody and then just to Democrat. Well, then they pulled out the Democrat respondents.
Okay.
All right. So the question was, who do you consider to be the current leader of the Democratic Party?
Okay.
All right. We'll do all voters first. Okay. All voters.
All voters. All right.
Only one achieved double digits when you ask all voters.
Really?
Number one on the list, Kamala Harris, 10%.
All right.
The next four in descending order, Chuck Schumer, 9%, Barack Obama, 8%.
Really?
Hakeem Jeffries, 7%, AOC, 5%. The biggest winner by far was not sure at 37%. Now for Democrats, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Democrats were asked the question.
You know, Joe Biden is not sure.
Biden is.
Were they just using? I'm not sure of his name.
Democrats went, again, who is the leader? 12% for Harris, 11% for Jeffries, 10% for Schumer, 7% for Obama, 6% for AOC, 40% not sure. Oh, well, you know who's not? You know who wasn't?
Huh.
That much of minute numbers? Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
Independents lined up behind Schumer, 9%, followed by Harris, 8%, Obama, 6%, Jeffries, AOC, and California Governor Gavin Newsom all tied at 5%. But 44% of independents said, we don't know. As we have said, now they didn't separate the demographic of the red eye guys.
No, they didn't.
Which would be AOC, Jasmine, and Mamdani.
Yeah, right now that's it.
Those are the leaders of the Democratic Party right now.
Yep.
Those ones that get the most publicity.
They're making the
ones
noise and they get all the attention.
They're the media favorites.
Yeah, it's, but it really is critical for Democrats to know who the party leaders are, right?
Yeah.
If it was 40% of Democrats saying, I don't know, we're not sure.
Now, who was the leader of the Republican Party? Let me see. John Kasich, number one. Right.
Clearly. Yeah. It's Trump. And there is no number two. Okay, J.D. Vance. Technically. I mean, it's very clear. President Trump leads the party.
No, it's not Joe Rogan.
No. No. It is not.
Democrats would probably say that. What about Joe Rogan?
No.
Isn't he the leader of the Republican Party?
Nope.
866-90 Red Eye.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome and good morning. Thanks for being here as always. I'm just reading here to see if they pulled Mamdani at all. No, they didn't. But they say with 64% of all voters believing that either the Democratic Party is too radical or aren't really sure if they're too radical, must be a troubling sign for the once dominant U.S. party of the center. Today, its members in Congress have backed Hamas terrorists, sought to keep criminal illegal immigrants from being deported, refused to condemn far-left ambush attacks against ICE, and even refused to condemn those in the party who backed the destruction of Israel. But they say today's Democratic Party is at war with itself. Well, they're at war, I think, with how they can win. They're not at war confronting where they stand on the issues.
On the issues, right. They're not, yeah.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.